Good evening, everyone. Phil here, and welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Saturday, the 26th of November, 2022. I had to think about that because such a weird week having the two holiday special events on Thursday and Friday, respectively, and only just getting into gaming today. It basically feels like I'm a little bit lagging behind here, quite frankly. But it is what it is. We got 4 straight days. Today was a good, solid streaming day, so let's talk about it. On the Level 1 podcast, we basically did a really big recap of yesterday's Adpocalypse ad reaction marathon event. You guys expressed a lot of praise for it, telling me you guys really liked it. For those who were here live, it seemed like you guys really enjoyed it. For those who are watching it on demand, quite honestly, it seems like it's a slow build, and what I mean by that is, it's not exactly like the most popular thing I've ever done. You know what I'm saying? For example, taking a look at the videos right now, part 1 has over 1,500 views, but then they massively dwindle. You know, part 2, 700, part 3, only like 500, something like that. The last part has over 1,000, and the DSP tries it just hit 1,000 views in 24 hours. So other reacts that I've done usually range higher than that. The only thing, I think the Rob Gavigan horror kind of macabre reaction stuff also kind of was in the same vein. But this is like interesting to see, you know, how much of an audience will I have when I do a react like this that's a little different. I'm not doing drama, right? I'm doing something a little different. I had a great time with it. Like, personally, I thought the react was outstanding. It was super fun to do. It was hilarious to watch those old ads. People seem to enjoy it who are here live. It just seems like it's not as many people watching it on demand as other stuff that I've done. All right. We also talked about the future. Like, should this be something that I do maybe 2 or 3 times a year? Should it be something I only save for Thanksgiving and do it as a Black Friday special every year? It was a good discussion. Check out the podcast if you didn't see it. We had a lot of fun discussion there. Then we started with God of War Ragnarok again. For the first time in almost a freaking week, I finally got to play God of War Ragnarok. And today was all side content only because I had just reached a giant major side content hub in the game when I had last stopped playing. I had finished up this major story with Freya, and now it was like, okay, here's a giant side content area for you to do, and it's right in front of you. So I was like, let's just do that today. So we did. We went up and down this river, doing all these quests along the way, and all the side stuff, and it was fun. I ended up getting a new armor set that's really cool. And when we finished all that, then we headed back out to Alfheim and went to the desert, where now we got to the second half of the desert, which had another underground dungeon and another one of those floating jellyfish to free. And we basically did that, and that was kind of what we did today in God of War Ragnarok. All side content. No major plot, although it's interesting because as you're doing some of these missions, you learn more about the characters. Like, you learned major backstory about Freya during her quest line on the river, because it's one of the I think it was the site where she actually got married, and there's all these relics about her and Odin getting married, and you find out all about that history, and it's actually pretty interesting. So overall, I really enjoyed God of War Ragnarok. As you know, every time I play this game, I have a great time with it, and I've told you guys several times over the last couple of weeks as I've been playing this game, it's absolutely going to be a Game of the Year contender for me. I know that. However, for some odd reason, I don't get good views on these streams of God of War. At one point, we were barely pushing 200 viewers. And I asked the audience, like, what do you guys think? And everyone has a different answer. Some people say, well, it's because you play the games too slow. God of War Ragnarok was such a hot game when it came out 2 weeks ago. Everyone wanted to either play it or watch it. So they did. They either played it and they're still playing it, or they watched it already. They didn't want to wait this long for you to play it. You should have played it faster. To which I responded, you know, you got to understand, I get that. For those who wanted God of War, maybe you wanted it faster. I hear you. At the same time, I'm a variety content creator, and there's a lot of people who obviously don't care about God of War, and they want to see me play other games. What if I just play God of War for 2 straight weeks and beat it? What do those people do for 2 weeks? They're going to be frustrated, right? And you're going to have a very isolated audience to only watch one game for that long of a time. I mean, case in point, look at what happened earlier this year with Elden Ring, where I did play Elden Ring a hell of a lot at launch. For about 2 weeks, I was playing it almost every day, and a lot of people got turned off by that, quite frankly. It did well because Elden Ring was an insanely popular game for me, but God of War Ragnarok has not been. Even when I started playing it, I mean, guys, just give you perspective here. It's been 2 weeks, right, since God of War Ragnarok came out. How many views do you think I have on part 1 right now? Do you want to know? I'll look. 8,000 in 2 weeks. That's, you know, not even on par with a normal playthrough. That's a notable one. You know, it's pretty crazy that a game that was like one of the best games of the year, only 8,000 views in 2 weeks. You know, Elden Ring had tens of thousands, if not more. But that's the point I'm making here, is that it doesn't seem like this game has caught on with my mainstream audience for some odd reason. But also people say other things like, oh, maybe it's a game that's fun to play, but not to watch. You could be right. Maybe you're onto something there. And the reason I say that is because years ago when I played God of War 2018, the same thing happened. I remember having the same exact discussion 4 years ago with my audience. As I continued to play God of War, within just a few sessions, the viewership dramatically dipped. And it seemed like every time I played it, half the stream would be yelling that I should be playing something else. And I was like, God, it's one of the best games of the year. It ended up being my game of the year 2018. I'm not going to not be playing the game. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. It's one of the best, if not the best game of the freaking year. I'm a gamer. It's what I'm supposed to be doing. You know, why am I going to skip it? You're out of your mind. So, I don't know. There's just something about God of War. I like it. I really like this game. You know, it has pros and cons, but I think it has a lot of pros. I think I like it just as much as 2018. It's growing on me with the more combat. Like today, I really started pulling out crazy combat stuff. Although maybe the combat engine is a little bit too convoluted, because now it's like you have your light runic attack, your heavy runic attack, light throw, heavy throw, charging of all those, heavy attack, heavy swings, light swings, charging both of those. You're building up your immolation, you're building up your frost. You can use those. You could also use a different kind of ice and frost during the combos. And then if you hold the button and you release the button with different timing, you get an alternate combo. After you throw your axe, you can then call it back into a secondary triple combo. Oh, by the way, now you have your assistant who shoots arrows and also does the assist attack. It's like, oh my God. It's so overly convoluted when it comes to the combat. And I guess it's nice to feel like you have all these things to rely on in a tough fight. And today that's kind of what happened. There's a couple bosses that I ran into. I just steamrolled them because I had so many abilities all charged up, ready to just unload. They didn't know what hit them, right? But I don't know. I guess we'll see as the game continues on. Maybe it's not. Maybe the combat isn't blowing me away as much because it's the second time it's the combat engine. You know, it's the second game in the series, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, I had a good time. I hope that those who did watch had a good time. I hope if you're continuing to watch the playthrough on demand, you're having a good time. But I guess we just have to accept the fact that when I play God of War, there's going to be low attendance. And, you know, support was okay. I'm not going to complain. In fact, we hit the members goal for November. We have locked in. We are absolutely doing the Christmas Marathon now. So starting likely tomorrow morning on the podcast, I'll probably set up the ability for people to start nominating games for the Christmas event. I'm very excited now because now it's locked in. We can start working on that rather than being like worrying about the last few days trying to crunch and hit the goals and stuff. But of course, this also means now I need to start thinking about what should the goal be for December for a special event that we want to do in January, because I don't know yet. I think we'll talk about this on the podcast the next few days as well. Okay. The late stream tonight was Sonic Frontiers. Now I'm going to be, again, honest with all of you. Up to this point, I liked the game. Although, admittedly, in World 3, I did tell you guys I felt like it was starting to get pretty tedious, right? I did. I felt like, man, this is definitely starting to get kind of tedious at this point. Tonight was bad. World 4 is literally 6 towers that are just platforming. If you make a mistake on one of the towers, you might fall to the bottom and have to do the whole tower over. Yes, there are some shortcuts, but not always. And some of the shortcuts you needed to know were there and activate manually, which you didn't know, you know, the first time you're doing it. So it took me like 45 minutes to beat these 6 challenge towers, and they were not fun in any way. They were actually very annoying. And the thing is, it was a big plot dump, and you could definitely tell doing this part of the game, this was supposed to be like either these cutscenes were supposed to be further into the game, or maybe there were other parts of the game that were cut. The fact that they literally dumped the whole plot on your lap within 45 minutes of playing this 20, 30-hour game, you know what I mean? Is like, what happened here? And the whole world feels empty. And people have said they data mined, and they actually found out that this world was part of another world that was ripped off the map and separated to be shoved into another part of the game. Yeah, it just was not very good. And then the final world, which I'm in now, is not good either. It's literally now, the 4th world in a row. You're doing exactly the same stuff. The environment's not interesting this time. It's not unique in any way, which is disappointing. And basically, it's just tedious now. even every challenge stage. They explained in this one that now the challenge stages are actually return stages from previous Sonic games because they're supposed to be reminiscent, like things from your mind or something. Great. So you're doing the stages like, wow, these are actually some of the most annoying stages from any 3D Sonic game. That's what they chose to be the stages for the final world. You can't tell where you're going. You try to react. You phase through the wall. You can't jump up the platform that's right in front of you. You can't control Sonic the way you want. It's just really annoying. It's hard to explain unless you're playing it. When you're playing a Sonic game and you jump, in midair you should be able to change directions. Not on some of these stages. You jump and you're just stuck. You're committed to this forward-moving jump, and you can't even change your direction in midair. Like, that's the essence of Sonic. Tell me a Sonic game ever that you jumped, you couldn't change direction in midair. Always. Not in this one. So, it actually really annoyed me because I was trying to make good progress, and now, this final stage, like, you need more heart medals. You need more keys. You need more this collectible, that collectible, this collectible. And I'm like, the other stages, you were able to just go through and easily collect all the stuff, no problem. Now, it's finally gotten tedious. It's actually gotten to the point now where it's like, this sucks. This is not fun. This is just, it feels like you're working now to get the shit you need rather than having fun and just going smoothly with these challenges that are free-flowing. Now it's like tedium. And I'm like, man, I'm glad this is the final world. At the same time, I feel like the next stream is really going to suck. I really get that feeling. Like, it's really going to suck because there's going to end up being a giant, grindy 2+ hours of just collectathon shit before we get to anything interesting. I didn't have a bad time, but at the same time, man, the end of the game is falling flat for me, okay? I want to say thanks to everyone who attended. And in reality, we had more attendees and more support for Sonic Frontiers than we had God of War Ragnarok. So do you see my point? God of War Ragnarok is literally an insanely good game, probably one of my Game of the Year contenders, if not my Game of the Year. And every other stream I'm doing is getting more attendance and everything. It's like, what is going on here? But it was still good, and, you know, I am looking forward to see how it ends. I'm just disappointed that it looks like it's going to be a grind to get there, all right? All right, so that was today, guys. Tomorrow, a brand new day, a brand new slew of games. On the Level 1 podcast, we'll set up for the Christmas event. We'll discuss what you guys possibly want for the December event leading into, you know, so the reward being in January. Maybe we'll have a return of something different or something. I don't know. In addition, we're going to have totally new games. You know, Pokemon on the first stream, which you guys have loved the Pokemon Scarlet playthrough so far. So have I. Like, I'm really liking the playthrough. It's chill vibes. It's fun. Even though the graphics suck, the game itself is fun. So that's what's really important. So I'm excited for more of that tomorrow on the first stream. Tomorrow, my Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer, where I'm going to continue using the F-Tac assault rifle, which I was starting to use last time, and I actually really like this rifle. I just need attachments for it. So we're going to go with that, okay? So, guys, thank you for a great streaming day. My first actual gameplay day of the week went really well. I had a good time. I hope that you guys enjoyed it as well. And I hope to see you all tomorrow for another full and fun day of gameplay streams and discussing the future. Thank you all. Have a good night. See you tomorrow. Peace out.